Welcome everyone. Welcome to Searching the EBSCO Electronic Journal Databases. My name is Robert Martel and I'm the Instruction Librarian here at the Atlantic School of Theology. So we're going to be searching the EBSCO databases. EBSCO is just the name of a vendor that sells subscriptions to electronic journal article databases. So in order to get to the library's journal article databases, we need to head to the AST Library website. So you could simply Google it, AST Library. It's my top result here. So I'll just click on the link library there under Atlantic School of Theology. And it'll take me to the main page of the AST Library website. And you notice in the middle there's a large gray search box. And under the search box here on your left, you'll see Journal Article Databases, a link. So I'll click on that link. And you'll be taken to the page for the library's databases. And you'll notice that there are two EBSCO databases. And we're going to search both of those databases. So we're going to search the Atla Religion database. And we're going to search the Academic Search Premier database. These databases are full-text databases. Some databases only have abstracts and bibliographic data. These two databases have abstracts, bibliographic data, and full-text articles. Not every article is full-text, and you'll see that once we get in there. But these two databases are the databases that we are going to be searching. So a good way to get into the database is just select one of them. And we're going to select the Atla Religion database. Okay. And let's see. We come to an Open Athens login screen. So you must be wondering what this is. And this is a way of authenticating, a way of proving that you're an AST student so that you can access this AST library resource. But what is Open Athens? Well, Open Athens is simply a doorway. Just think of it as a doorway. You know, it's a gatekeeper, and you have to unlock the gate to get into the database. Right? Open Athens, simply a door, and you have to get through the door so you can get to the EBSCO databases. So you need credentials, and every AST student has been issued a username, an Open Athens username, and an Open Athens password. And if you don't have an Open Athens username or password, or you don't remember your password, contact the library and we'll help you sort that out. So my credentials are already loaded in, my username and my password, and I'm going to click sign in. And that will take me through to the EBSCO database. All right, so here we are. We're into the database, and I had mentioned that two databases were ideal for searching. We clicked the Atla Religion database right here. This is what we're currently searching, and we want to add another database. We want to add the Academic Search Premier database. And the one way to do that is to click the title of the database you see right here and that we're searching. So I'm going to click that title, and here's Academic Search Premier. Okay, and we're going to select it. So I have two. So make sure two databases are being searched. Okay, both are checked off. When you search two databases, you're maximizing your results. If you don't search two, you're really limiting what you can get out of the databases. So I always recommend that you search the two full-text databases. And then to confirm your selection down here at the bottom, you'll see a select button. Select. All right, and you're brought back. Okay, so we're about to do a search. So right now we're doing an advanced search. Let me just show you what I mean by an advanced search. So if I click on basic search over here on the right, you'll notice it's just a single search box. It was over on the far right. And if I click advanced search over here, if you see my cursor, we get more than one search box to complete our search. So we're going to do an advanced search. And what we're going to do is we're going to search a topic that students enjoy searching, a topic that interests a lot of students. Let me see. There's a few, but here's one. Spiritual, not religious. This is a popular topic and a tricky topic, as you'll see. So let's start by typing in spiritual, not religious. So you notice just as I start typing, you'll notice search suggestions are automatically coming up for me to choose from. Okay? So, spiritual, look at that. As I type the N, not religious. That's the one I want. I could have typed it myself, but it's recommending it. So I'm going to select it, spiritual, not religious. And then here, there's your search button. You can also hit enter. So we're going to hit search. And let's see. I hit search. Okay. Interesting. 113,000 results. So we're getting a lot of results here. And so you note that right here, my results. Right here, 113,000. And then when I scroll, just for fun, I'm getting a lot of results with the word spiritual in it. I'm not seeing religious. And I think we've hit our first snag. And one way to find that, to realize you've hit a snag is the amount of results that you retrieve. There's too many results, and I'm not seeing the word religious, and I think I know what's going on. So the database search interface is trying to interpret the language that I put into the search box, and it thinks that we're asking it, give me articles that are about spiritual content, but not religious content, right? So it's this here, this not right there. That's what's messing up the database. It thinks I'm saying, give me spiritual things, but not religious things. But what I really want, right, is, I'm trying to achieve when people say, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, right? But the database thinks we're asking, give me content on the word spiritual, but leave out everything that has to do with religious. So we're out of sync with the database, and so we need to do something with our search terms. And I recommend that we put this in quotes so that it's being treated like a phrase. Okay, putting it in quotes should tell the database to search this as a phrase. So you'll see I put it in quotes, and I'll hit search. Ah, wonderful, look at that. Spiritual, not religious, right there. It reduced us to 1,300 results just by placing spiritual, not religious in quotes. You see up here in the top. And look, my first two articles contain both words. Those other articles, most of them just had the word spiritual in it. Well, they probably would have had them all spiritual in it since we were telling it to exclude, unintentionally telling it to exclude religious. So I put it in a phrase, spiritual, not religious, with quotation marks to help the database understand what it was I was looking for. And let's take a look at some of these. So Recovering the spiritual and religious conversion studies, spiritual versus religious, a natural language processing perspective. Interesting. Okay, so this article is acknowledging the difference between in the language. So I recommend that students, be liberal when you decide what articles or what search results you want to keep. It doesn't cost you anything to save articles that sound promising but might not be exactly about what it is you're trying to find, but it may be related in a peripheral way. So be liberal. So this is worth saving. And how do you save results? Well, right here on the right. See that bookmark icon right there? If you click that, it saves your article. It saves this search result. So anything that catches your eye, looks good, save it by selecting the bookmark icon. So I'm going to scroll down a bit, take a look at a few others. This is called sifting. Just look through your results. I'm seeing a lot of spiritual and religious. And remember our search term, our phrase that we put in quotes was spiritual, not religion, not religious. We're trying to get to that identification where people say, I'm spiritual, but not religious. That exclusion of one from the other. And I'm going to show some more results. Sometimes I like to just scroll quickly through the results and then go back for a slower review of what might be worth saving. Yeah, interesting. Humility, differentiation of self, and clinical training in spiritual and religious competence. All right, I'm going to keep scrolling. I'm just curious. I really want to see spiritual and religious journeys. Spiritual, not religious. Okay. This is interesting. Spiritual, not religious. Let's add that to let's save that one. So remember, you click the little bookmark icon if you don't want to lose track of that article. But my eye caught one right here. Number 30, daily spiritual experiences and well-being among the non-religious, spiritual and religious. Non-religious. Okay, that's closer to what we want. I like that. This is worth investigating. So I'm going to add it. I'm going to click the bookmark icon to save it. I like some of the words in there. We have religious, we have spiritual, we have non-religious, which gets us close to what it is we're trying to find. Okay. Let's keep scrolling a bit. I'm noticing not a lot of full text articles. And how can I tell what's full text? Well, let's take a look. I'll show you. It's a lot. All right, here we go. So the number here, number 16, you notice right here, access now. Okay, so that's, and then let's see. So access now, and we're going to click on that. So it immediately took me to a PDF. I'll go back. So access now, but when I see a box like access options right here, a lot of them are access options. Let's see what this one gives me. Here we go. This is very common. It says request a copy from another library. See that? Request a copy from another library. So if there's an article in the database that is not full text, if you click that link, it will take you to an interlibrary loan form and you can fill it out. And the AST library will work on your behalf to find you a copy of this article. So some of the articles have PDFs in them attached to it, and some of them you have to request from another library. But I want to scroll down. And I find sometimes students can be anxious about finding a full text article. If your paper's due in a couple of days, then I understand, you don't have time to wait for the article to be found on your behalf. But if you have time, do not shortchange yourself and ignore results that do not have full text. The library can help you find the full text for those results. We can help you. So even articles that say, request from another library, those are worth saving. Okay. Let's see. Let's scroll a bit further. Something caught my eye earlier. Show more results. This one here. Spiritual or religious leadership. What do you practice? Now, it doesn't have the word non-religious in it, but what I like about this article is, so it's about leadership, but it's also about what do you practice. Is it a spiritual form of something, in this case leadership, or is it a religious form? And I'm intrigued by this. And like I say, be liberal in what you keep. You do not need to find the literal words in an article for the article to be of value. So we're being guided by, certainly we're guiding our search. This is driving our search, right? Spiritual, not religious. This is what we're looking for. But by sifting through your results, you will find results that are still of value. You just have to investigate them and be open-minded to what they may offer. So that one has been added by clicking the icon. And if you want to know a bit more about the article, well, you can click on the title. So let's click on the title of this one, Spiritual or Religious Leadership. And it opens up the record, what we call the record for this article. And you'll see that there is a PDF attached to it that we could access right now. Let's click on it. There it is. You could download that PDF. If you scroll down, you'll see authors' names, the name of the journal that the article is from. So it's from the Journal of Applied Christian Leadership. You will see publication year, and you'll see some subject headings right here. Right? So this is inside the article. Let's head back to our search results. I'll hit the back button. Now, I'm curious about changing up our search terms. If you don't find what you want, or if you're not getting enough of what you want to see in terms of search results, valid or relevant search results, it's not time to change your topic. It's time for you to change your search terms. So never give up on your topic. Talk to your professor before you ever give up on a topic. If you're having trouble finding results, it's time to change your search terms. And if you recall, I think it was number 29 had a word in there that really had non-religious, right? I'm intrigued by that. I think we can incorporate the word non-religious into our search. Let me see. Here it was, number 30, right here. Try that again. Non-religious, right there. I'm curious about this. I'm thinking, can the term spiritual, not religious, can this concept be achieved with the word non-religious? So if we use the word non-religious, can we accomplish our objectives? We used up here at the top, we use spiritual, not religious to get these results. But maybe we can swap out some words and focus on the word non-religious. So we're going to change what we search for. So what we're going to do is we're going to, up here on the search box, see advanced search. Let's click on advanced search right here on the right. And let's put spiritual in. Spiritual. And on a separate box, let's put non-religious. Okay, so the two words are separate. Now what I'm hoping to achieve by this is to find content that's about spiritual and not religious. But the not religious part will be retrieved by the new keyword, non-religious. So let's hit search. 140 results. See that right there? That's a small amount of results, but that's also a promising number. It shows that the database did the search. It did it well, and it focused in on exactly what we were hoping to find. Now, whether or not the results themselves are of value to us, we have to determine that by investigating them. So let's take a look at some of the articles. Non-religious chaplains in spiritual care. Remember, be liberal about what you add. See over here the bookmark icon. Let's click on it. Going to the well, spiritual direction with the non-religious. Okay. Daily spiritual experiences. That was the one we located originally at. He needs to talk, a chaplain's case study. Interesting. Chaplain's case study of non-religious spiritual care. Let's see. What's number 7 here? Spiritual coping strategies, relationship with physical anxiety, depression, and symptoms of patients in cancer. Number 9, spiritual needs in communicating about death in non-religious theistic families. Okay, so there's some interesting articles in here. I'd like to take a look at one of these articles. Let's click on the title to open up the article. And so this one was a request from another library, but by looking in the article record, I'm curious about here these subject terms right here. We haven't really done anything with these subject terms. I'd like to show you what these subject terms can do. I was hoping to find a subject term like non-religious. These subject terms are quite broad right here. Let's go back, actually, and let's take a look at this article here, number 4. He needs to talk, a chaplain's case study of non-religious spiritual care. Let's click on it. Subject headings. Well, they're quite broad again. But here, I want to show you what you can do with them. So, spiritual here. We'll click on one. Spiritual coping. And what does a subject heading do? Well, a subject heading is a hyperlink. And this link is connected to, it's connected to every article in the database that happens to have, right here you'll see this subject heading was spiritual coping. Every article that is indexed with the words spiritual coping as a subject heading, if you click that link, it'll bring up all those articles. Ideally, it would do that. And it brought up, how many? 52 results with the word spiritual coping. It doesn't help us for our subject search, but it's something to explore for yourself. Anytime you're doing searching, open up an article, right? Open up an article, scroll down and look for subject terms, right? Here's one: spirituality, care, spirituality, religion, some broad ones there. But if you clicked on one of these, spiritual care, in a medical context, here it brings up over 3,400 results. So it can be quite helpful using subject headings. We're not going to worry about it for our purposes. What I'd like to do is I'd like to modify our search terms again. So let's go back up to the search box. Click on Advanced. I want to go back to spiritual. Let me see. Spiritual, not religious, but you know what? Let's just do not religious. We did non-religious. Let's do not religious. And then let's put spiritual in a separate search box. It's really important that you experiment when you're searching. Don't give up. When you feel like giving up, it's too early. So let's do a search. Okay, 31,000 results. It's a lot. And what I'm seeing here is that the word spiritual is coming up. So, it's coming up in connection to religious at times, but it's a lot of results, and I'm not really happy with that amount of search results. And it doesn't seem to be really. I think we did a better job with non-religious than not religious. We used not religious. So I'm skeptical that this search string is going to give us anything really, really that valuable, but it certainly is worth exploring if you have the time. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and we're going to delete. We're going to add a hyphen between not and religious, and we're going to leave out the spiritual part. Let's see. Well, let's see what happens. So we just have not religious. Okay, way too many results. That was even worse. So let's add spiritual. So we're doing an advanced search. We have not religious hyphenated up here on one search box, and we have spiritual on another search box. So I cut out spiritual, and that was, I should have known that would just give me 500,000 results. We need to kind of we need the two of them to be in conflict, the not religious search term and the spiritual. So let's do a search. Okay, it's not bad. It's still in the 30s. How about we put non-religious instead of not? Ah, there we go. So you see what I did? Advanced search. This is what we did. In one search box we have non-religious hyphenated, and in the other search box we have spiritual. Okay? And we're asking for articles that have the two terms together. What we've seen so far is that if articles have the two terms, religious and spiritual, together, it tends to be an article that is separating the two. And that's what we want. And the search results, 258. I like that. Sure, I'd love to have 2,000. But 258 is more than enough content for you to explore. and to determine what is of value for your research topic. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. This is a good thing to note, that different content also showed up when we added a hyphen. I mean, we had changed not to non, but we had done non-religious prior without a hyphen. Okay. So what you need to do next is, and again, there's no shortcut, and that is sifting. You know what you're looking for, you know what you want to find, what you're hoping to find, so you're your best judge of what articles may be of value to you. So you have to put the time into sifting. So let's take a look at some of these articles. Okay. Everybody needs to believe in something. Spiritual beliefs of non-religious Czech adolescents. Oh, that's an interesting article. Like I said, be liberal in saving articles. I'm going to save that. You may be like, you know what? I'm doing a project. I'm doing a research paper on the spiritual beliefs of non-religious, elderly Canadians. This article's no good. It's about spiritual beliefs of non-religious Czech adolescents. Well, don't be hasty. The research, sure, the demographic is different, but the question may be the same. You may find value in a topic that uses different subjects. Interviews, if it's a social science topic, it may interview a different cross-section of subjects of individuals that you would have, than what you would have included in your study. But the content still has some application, and the research study itself is a model to look at. So even if I wasn't interested in Czech adolescents, but rather, Canadian, elderly Canadian, individuals, this article is still of value. Try to see beyond your topic and see how it may apply. All right. So I added that one. Let's go look a bit more. Here's an interesting one. When the glow fades, the chaplain's role in non-religious spiritual rites for the bereaved. Okay, this is interesting. If I was doing a study on how ministry personnel help the non-religious spiritual Christian, this would be a really useful article. And what I might do if I was doing a topic on a research paper on a topic like this, I might add an extra search term. So, right, if I want to know how chaplains provide care to non-religious spiritual individuals, then I may add a search term. Let's go up to the top. Do an advanced search. I clicked on advanced search. Right, advanced search right here. Let's add pastoral care. Search. Okay. Concepts of religion and confessionality for pastoral care and spiritual care. Tending to the spirit. Spiritual solace without religion. Okay, this looks good. I like this. Why don't we explore the article? Well, first let's add it. Over here on the right, let's save it. Click on the title of the article. Open it up. You notice the access options are request a copy from another library. That's fine. We can help you with that. Search terms. Hospital chaplains, spiritual care, patient-centered care. And there's an abstract, folks. Right, it gives you a little synopsis. Right here, the article focuses on the initiatives of the British Humanist Association and the Leicester Hospitals charity to meet the healthcare needs of non-religious people in Great Britain. Okay, so that's what the article's about. Again, you know what happens when you click a subject heading. We won't bother doing it. All right, let's go back to our search results. I'll just hit my back button. So we've looked at a lot of different search strategies. And you've saved some articles. And so what can you do with those articles that you saved? And I'm going to show you what to do with that. Okay, I'm going to add a couple more. Let's see. All right, so what do you do with them? Okay, let me show you what to do with the articles you saved. It's important that you do something with them. And we've been searching for almost half hour. It's important you do something with those articles, because if I were to get up and leave my computer, go have lunch for half an hour and come back, EBSCO will probably refresh. The screen would refresh itself, and you would probably lose those saved articles. You'd have to go back and find them. So you search for 25 minutes, take a break, and head over to, you see here on the left side under dashboard, you see saved right here. Okay. Let's click on saved. And it will load. Okay, it loaded 10. There's 10 articles that we saved. Here they are. And has the title, tells you whether or not the article is peer reviewed, gives you your authors, your journal, your title, and you can click on the article right here and look in it to find out your access options, name of the journal, subject headings. Let's go back. So what are we going to do with this content? Okay. So one thing you can do is select all of them. Okay. And let's see. You'll notice here at the top, right here, you will notice an export button and a download button. If you click on the export button, if you use any of these, EasyBib, RefWorks, EndNote, Noodle Tools, you can export this bibliographic data, these articles and their bibliographic data and the PDFs that are connected to them. You can export them to any of those softwares. I don't use any of those softwares. What I often do is I download. So you see I had two options here. There's download. We're going to click download. So I have all 10 articles selected, and now I'm going to hit download. And it's going to download. This is the title of the first article plus 9 more articles. And I'm going to choose PDF. You have different formats to choose. And I'm going to download it. Okay. And so this is what I downloaded to my computer. Let me show you. Okay, this is a 9-page, 10-page PDF file, and every page contains the title of the article, the abstract, if there was an abstract, all the bibliographic data, what journal it was published in, who the authors are, the date, and it gives me a link. And this link will take me back to the database that we were just in. And if there was full text for that particular article, then you'll be able to retrieve that full text from the database by using that link. So all 10 articles are here. So I saved everything. I saved all the articles that I considered of interest. Let's close that. Okay. Close this here. And I'll take us back to the library. So, folks, I hope this was of value to you. This was an in-depth search of the EBSCO article databases. And the only way to get practice and becoming adept at searching is to carry out, exhaustive, in-depth searches where you experiment and play. And the AST library is always available to you for advice, especially when it comes to conducting searches in the article databases. We encourage you to come into the library and come to the circulation desk, and we would be happy to help you. So again, thank you, and happy searching of the EBSCO databases. Thank you.